welcome back. This is Elysse. This video is going to be a little bit different than the rest of my content so far. I know I don't have that many followers yet, but if you do come across this and want to contribute to the conversation, I encourage that you do. Even if you don't wish to post a public comment, you can always DM me on my Instagram, which I'll figure out how to link below, hopefully by the time I post this, or you can just shoot me a text if you have my phone number. I'm not claiming to be a master or anything at equity, diversity, and inclusion. My experience in general is very monosectional. It's like intersectional, but like there's less intersections. It's a bad feminism joke. Regardless, let's talk about gender in ballet while I get ready today. It's not a secret that cis women dominate the ballet scene in terms of numbers. The trope of the prima ballerina was everything that historically women wanted to be. Delicate, slender, existing to provide entertainment to rich white people. To dance ballet meant that you had the leisure time and therefore the money, and it was therefore a coveted skill for those that didn't have the money or time to acquire an adequate ballet master. But women needed men to partner and to lift them, to tell the most accurate stories of the time with the most amount of spectacle. This precedence continues into modern day companies, though many choreographers and directors are taking some steps to rectify this inequality. We'll get to that in a little bit. So, there are more women than men, which must mean that women get paid more, right? LOL, no. A 2019 study in the United States was done called the Dance Data Project, which compiled names and wages of a lot of directors, executive directors of prominent ballet companies and dance companies in general in the United States. This project found, and I'm actually going to read verbatim here, research found women underrepresented, everything. Women were underrepresented in positions of leadership, particularly as artistic directors. Women were better represented in the roles of executive directors, although still far below men. The small number of women able to break through into leadership roles usually face large pay gaps. So even though, ladies, we have almost completely dominated a field of work, the cis men still out-earn us. Transgender sisters and brothers, I'm going to assume that this report is specifying cis females and males. They don't have another option. There are a couple of articles that I've found that discuss non-binary representation in ballet, which I am going to link above periodically as I talk about those things above. So definitely go check those things out. I also use them to support research for this video. If you have any suggestions on transgender representation readings in ballet for me, then please do let me know what they are. I will definitely check them out. But why does this gap exist in such a female-dominated field? I heard recently, and there's a lot of speculation and opinion coming in here, I'm not scientifically backed by this, that young girls enter the ballet world understanding that they are one of many. They have to work unseasonably hard to stand out, such that they end up developing a ceaseless need to improve their technique before they can break out into larger roles. They have to prove themselves before they take a risk. Young boys, on the other hand, learn that they're necessary, coveted, and of the utmost importance in the ballet world. They're probably one of few in their studio or company, those that are brave enough and strong enough to dance. Now lads, love ya. Please continue dancing. Every person should have access to the joy that is ballet. This is all just a result of systemic injustice. It's not one person. I seriously doubt any boy goes into ballet thinking, ooh, I'm gonna dominate this field because they desperately need me to sustain their company. This isn't the world of finance. I need someone else in this room to like roll their eyes at me when I make jokes like that, or they're just gonna keep happening. But I can literally see this happening all around me. The boy is always placed in the center of the routine because they dress differently or they dance differently. Backstage, my friends and I used to gossip and talk about how routines that had boys in them got male appendage points from the judges because the boy was brave enough to dance with the girls. In my associate qualification, this past May, 2022, I had to say that I found it appropriate to begin training boys separately from girls at approximately the age of 11 or 12, so girls could focus on point work and boys could focus on grand allegro. So no one wins here. Girls, boys, men, women, everyone suffers under this imposed binary, albeit in different ways. The fact that ballet syllabi are created to support these gender roles is not the biggest problem here. Ballet actively teaches the binary to vulnerable children looking for a role model. And that isn't super okay. It's relatively well known that ballet didn't start this way. It was originally only for men, for kings and members of the court to show their poise and power. I'm sure many of you have heard of Louis XIV. who was considered too young for his leadership role, so danced ballet to prove that he was indeed strong and powerful enough to succeed as the king. But let's end positively here. There is so much that's currently being done to rectify this gender separation in ballet, some of which I would like to share with you. A recent article that I found from April 2022 from the New York Times told the story of a non-binary dancer that recently got the opportunity to perform as the leading swan in their company's production of Swan Lake. That was with the Pacific Northwest Ballet in Seattle, where this particular dancer grew up, Ashton Edwards. They were unable to dance roles like these because of the way that they had been born. Canada's National Ballet School currently offers point classes to anybody who wishes to teach them, regardless of your gender. Female-identifying students in the professional program at the National Ballet School are not told that they need to be pretty or soft or skinny, but instead strong and capable and hardcore, and that they can jump just as high as any boy in their program. These are all things that I've witnessed firsthand. I promise I'm not making them up. The National Ballet of Canada, the professional company that's here in Toronto, recently implemented an EDI task force. EDI stands for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, and they hired multiple people to be on their staff to support and start implementing their statement. We pledge to approach this work with authenticity, transparency, and respect. Other ballets across the country and the rest of the continent are making those statements and promises as well. And, side note, more ballets that are being choreographed today are done in a more modern, gender-fluid way. Yay! There are some small things that I do in each class that I teach. I teach both bows and curtsies to all students, starting from their very first ballet class at age 3. Using gender-neutral phrases such as everybody and dancers in the place of boys and girls can help all students feel more comfortable. Normalizing this kind of language too will help when they are old enough to understand the decision that they have to make about their identity. In previously gendered movements that I do not yet have the power to change, such as pas de bourrées, runs, walks, and some arm positions, I provide both or all options to students, using the terms traditionally feminine or traditionally masculine, and allow them to choose. This is particularly important for adult classes, but pretty effective in children's classes as well. You'd be surprised how much smarter teens and younger adults are at understanding this stuff about themselves. They know who they are. There might be more things that I do on a daily class basis, but unfortunately it's slipping my mind right now. So definitely let me know anything that you personally do in class that I can add to my list of things. As well, if you're a student watching this and you want to see different behavior from your dance teachers, also let us know and I can broadcast that to broader audiences too. My rambling is almost over. With this video, I'm not saying that we should erase ballet's history. Never delete historical mistakes, that's how they repeat, everybody knows that. But we can adapt. We can be inclusive without abolishing the art that is ballet. Artistic directors, pay your people right. Dancers, you are all loved and supported if this is something that you truly want and desire to do, and will work hard to do. And to all the teachers, stay educated, motivated, and always hydrated. Awesome. And that is all for now. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.